Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Rudzani Mudau from the Department of Environmental Affairs under the Directorate Transfrontier Conservation Areas. Awelani is my colleague. We're from the same unit. I'm going to give presentation based on the case study in Limpopo, which is Awelani Community Conservation Area Program. This is just the outline of the areas that I'm going to touch in this presentation. Hopefully it's not going to be too long for you. I'll first give a brief background about the project and then also indicate the location of the project, the reason why it was initiated, the successes that have been recorded so far, and some of the benefits that the communities are driving today from this project. And also the challenges that we encounter in implementing these community projects, and also the lessons learned from our experience in dealing with community projects. So the project in question is a community conservation area belonging to Mutere community, which is a community in Limpopo province within the Wembe district municipality. So what happened is that in early 2000s, the Mutere community identified piece of their land specifically for conservation and tourism related activities. Then they approached government requesting funding for infrastructure development and also for the fencing of the reserve. And then around 2010-2011, we managed to secure funding through the National Lottery, where we then started with phase one of the project, where we had to fence the reserve and also build a community lodge, which today is operating. So the project is in far northeast of Limpopo province, and I'll indicate in my next slide, which will show on the map. And it forms part of the great Limpopo Transfrontier Conservation Areas. So one of the objectives which also led to us as the Department of Environmental Affairs to be involved in this project was in line with the one objective of the TFCAs, which is to create more opportunities for local communities through the development of ecotourism and natural resource-based enterprises. So to fulfill this objective, we then had to partner with the district municipality, provincial department of environment in Limpopo, and sun parks, as well as the community in terms of developing this project. The project is not that big. Actually, the size of the area is just 1,800 hectares. That's the area that we managed to fence. And like I indicated, all the three spheres of government, from national to local, they are part of this project. So the project is, if you check at the top there, is Pafuri Gate. It is just 11 kilometers from Pafuri Gate of the Kruger National Park. So it's in close proximity to Kruger National Park, which then presents also an opportunity for REIT to grow and succeed, because There are a number of tourists which use Pafuri Gate, and the only facility or accommodation facility which is closer to Pafuri Gate is Chipise Forever Resort, which is around 90 km from Pafuri Gate. So this project also presents a better opportunity for the area to grow. And as I indicated, it's in remote area where the economic activities are also less. So this was also part of trying to boost the economic activities of the area. The area demarcated in white, that's where the reserve is. And the red one is the main road going to Pafuri Gate. And if you can check on far right there, it's the Great Limpopo Transfrontier Conservation Area. So this project is just a few km from the Pafuri Gate, and it forms part of the Great Limpopo Transfrontier Conservation Area. The next slide is just to show the picture of the main building of the lodge. Behind this building there are chalets and also the conference room. Then now the question is, why did we start this project? Like I indicated before, this project is located in one of the most remote areas in South Africa, with less economic activities or opportunity. And most of the people around the area, they are not educated, which then limits them in terms of competing for other job opportunities, maybe in urban areas. So their only focus is around the area. And most of them, they depend on livestock. Your cattle and goats are the most two that they rely on most. And also the issue of selling firewood, where they have to cut mopani trees and package them in small plastics and sell for 10 rand. So those are some of the activities that they depend on daily basis. Then we realize that there is a need from government to look at this area and see what activities can be implemented in terms of conservation and tourism activities. And because it's the community who approached government, it was much easier for us to get this project from the ground. Unlike when we plan maybe from the boardroom and then we go to them and present a project in such a way that you're kind of like imposing a project to them. So this one it's different, because they are the one who approached government to say, we've got this piece of land and we would like you guys to assist us in terms of developing it. So the main idea was to create employment opportunities for the local. As I've indicated, that only few employment or economic activities in the area. So the other reason was also to contribute to the expansion of conservation estate in South Africa, and also to capitalize on tourism opportunities in the area, as I've indicated that it's in close proximity to Kruger National Park, which then position it in a better market attractive area. Then, in terms of the governance structure of this project, we've got the Mutere community through the traditional council as the custodian of this project at the top. And then we assisted them to establish a community trust which feeds information to the tribal council. And parallel to the trust, there is a project management committee which comprises of different role players from government, from community, from the operator of the lodge, and the NGOs that might be part of the project. So this project steering committee advises the trust, because most of the people that are also on the trust, they are not that well educated. So some of the decisions that they take, we have to advise. And then there's also a private operator, community structures, and government committee. Okay, these are a few successes that have been recorded so far. We've managed to complete phase 1 of the lodge. And then phase 2, it's almost 90% complete, where we constructing a tented camp. We managed to secure the funding from Italian NGO CESV, where they sponsored us with the vehicles and furnishing of the lodge. So they bought us a Quantum Land Cruiser 4x4 and a double cab Toyota. Then, to date, there are 16 permanent employees, and in time, from time, then you find that there's a need for temporary or casual staff. Then we also employ them depending on the needs. And then the appointment of the operator, establishing a community structures, and also erecting a game fence. So I've put the tender advertised, because now we are in a process to re-fence again the reserve, because the old fence is damaged. These are just the cars that we managed to buy for the community. Benefits is in terms of employment, procurement from the local shops, supermarket, and butcheries. The lodge, they buy around the local shops, which then also boosts the economy of the area. And then implementation of community development programs by NGOs. There are some of the NGOs that are partnering with the lodge, and then they are also implementing some social development programs around the area. And also capacity building in terms of training local people. Last year we took them on an exchange visit to Free State, where they also interacted with the community who have a similar project in Free State. And there's also a fee which is paid to the community on an annual basis. This is one point of interest in this reserve. It's a cave, and recently most of the people, they use it for their ceremonies, your wedding ceremonies, the parties, they come in under this cave. And particularly at night, it's a nice experience to be under this cave. And then challenges. These are some of the challenges that we encounter dealing with the communities. You find that in some instances there are conflict among the community in terms of ownership of the project. Some you might find that they want to hijack the project for their personal interests. The use of also project for political interests, more especially towards the elections. You find that the ward councillors, they are using, or they're claiming ownership of the projects, so for political interests. And then financial resources also is a challenge. And land use conflict, it's also another challenge, because you find that like for instance in this area there is it's close to Chikondeni mining, so, and there were some issues with the mining back then, which we had to attend to. This is another portal which is within the reserve. I'm not going to spend, I think my time is up now. And These are some of the lessons that we learned from this project. Okay, the first one, I think there's a typo error there. It wasn't supposed to be patient. Patience is very important when dealing with community. Yeah, those are the some of the lessons that we've learned from this project. Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you.